I'm just going to show you some stuff that I think is important from this new game that might not necessarily be easy to figure out. First thing, my player. Well, obviously everyone goes in, they create their player, and what you can do is try and get your player up to 90 as quickly as you can. So my recommendation here is do not create any more than one player, because if you create another player like you would do right in here, you're going to create another player, he's going to start off at 65. Now until you reach level 90 he's going to be just at 65. However, if you can get one player to 90, you can then create a new player. He'll have a rebirth and he will have 24 attribute points to up your player to about a 74, 75, which is very important. So what I mean by attribute points are these things here, where you can go and increase these depending on your the amount of VC you have. Obviously that's limiting, and the AP. So example, at the moment I have 49 AP at the bottom here, and I have 417. Now it costs 175 for each one of these to go up. So for example, if I increase here recovery, it's going to cost me 175 to upgrade that, and there we go, and that's going to increase that. Now each of these has a maximum. So for example, power and contact, I can't do anything more with these. I have some left there, I've lots left in this particular aspect of it, but I can increase those. But when you increase one, it decreases the other. So you'll generally be restricted here by the amount of VC that you have to actually upgrade. Now depending on your player, you get an opportunity to use skill points to increase or give your guy skills. So the guy I went for a technician. So a technician, that allows all this here to get through. So for example, I've got the pick and I've filled out everything in respect of my player. Because he's a technician, he can do that. But if you actually look here, if you go to T and you go down here to the bottom, you'll actually see that it requires a powerhouse archetype to be able to do that. Case of approach, it requires a sculptor for those, and so on. I won't do them all, but basically it depends on the archetype you have before you can actually go and create get the skill that you actually need. So like that's a magician. Now the interesting thing here is that when you get your player to 90, that's great. When you create a second player, like I spoke about earlier, and get him up to 90, then what happens is, just for example, you create a powerhouse. If you create a powerhouse, get him up to 90, what'll happen then is that this skill will open, and if you get that done, it will open it up for all players. So what'll happen is when I come back into my player here, I will be able to have this open to spend skill points on. So that's when it comes to building your golfer and all the skill points and stuff like that. When it comes to trying to build up your character as much as you can, obviously VC is hugely important. So I think the best way is to do, first of all, there's a couple of ways. First of all is my career. So in my career, my recommendations are you do it on a level that you're going to win. So the most important here is the user sim difficulty, because that is the multiplier effect for the amount of points that you're going to get. Put this in easy, put this in easy. Play 2 rounds an event, because there are some events and some quests that require you have to make the cut. Full rounds, and basically this is the most important one. So like I would say have this as high as you can. Actually have it, because it's going to allow you to gain more points. Also but make sure that you're going to be winning events. Like there's no point in really playing unless you're actually going to be winning events. So it's important to do each event. Make sure you do the training every time, because the training and there's a number of different training aspects. I usually do the putting because it's the easiest. That will allow you to you go in here training, so when you go play events, you can actually go in here and you can actually see which one you're going to do, and all these. So what these actually do, as you can see, is they increase the boost of points that you're going to get when you actually come through it. When you come in here, multiple events here, so you can go in pro event. I want to skip now, I don't want to skip anything. So basically multiple events, one of them is probably be the sponsors event. If I can, I'll do the sponsors event. So when you come to sponsor, make sure you have a sponsor and sign. So for example, I'm currently signed with Callaway for apparel, and I'm currently signed with balls and clubs for Callaway. So I've already completed the 2K one. So always make sure you have all three signed. Always make sure you have a rival, because you get VC. One interesting thing, when you actually get down to the very end here, and the first time you get to do this, and you do Tiger Woods, you get a Odyssey. You get a lovely putter actually, which I actually have. I had bought it. I didn't realize that you could actually who you're going to win this. So the second most important thing to try and up your guy is to do the quests. So if you actually go to quests and profiles here, you go to the quest that you actually go to. I make sure you try to do the daily. So one of them here is finish 2 rounds of Magician. I don't have a Magician build. I could create one and play one, but not much point. And I could do 2 rounds of David Derby. Recommend it. These are the ones. So I finished 2 rounds in that. The ones I completed. So for example, if I go into completed, this one I completed actually recently. Might be at the bottom. Would it be at the bottom? So one of the ones I had was to play on legend difficulty, to get 3 pars on legend difficulty. To get 3 pars on legend difficulty, to get a birdie on legend difficulty, and to hit 5 fairways, I think, on legend difficulty. I managed to achieve all that, and that was important because that actually gave me quite a bit of money or VC, and it also gave me a tool which I'll talk about in a second. So this is it here. So you see this here, I got this Evo tool and I got 50 VC. Now the Evo tools, see them up in the top right of the screen? So the Evo tools are actually hard enough to get in this game, and they cost 750 VC if you want to buy them in the shop, but like you're struggling for VC, you don't really necessarily have the spare to buy. So there's, I finished a round, recorded 3 pars or better, recorded 1 birdie, and I got 5 fairways in regulation. But I also got some other, I was also doing other quests at the same time unknown to myself, because I'd looked and seen that if I could hit, I think, 10 fairways with 220 plus yards, that was also going to be another quest I was doing. So I was actually achieving quite a few quests and getting quite a lot of VC on this particular thing. In fact, I think if I actually go look, I might actually have here the what actually I got. So look here, you'll actually, so I got all these things for just completing those quests. When it comes to the fittings, this can be quite complicated, but it isn't really. If you go along here and you will actually look at your golf bag, so if you go and look at your golf bag, this is where my golf bag currently sits. So I actually bought these clubs because I play with Titleist in real life, so I like to buy, so I went out and actually use VC to buy these. This is the putter which I got, and which I also won, so no point buying that, and I discovered subsequently. So I've actually got 2 of those. So if I actually go in here, change putter, so I've got this is the one I won. So all these other putters. So what I recommend you do here is you keep using these to level up them. So if I look at my driver is at the Sapphire. It's the top level. I've used the Evo tool to get it up to this twice. So if I go into my driver here, and what I can do is upgrade it. So when I go into upgrade, I have all these slots. See these across the top? So I've 4 of them now. At the moment, I haven't got this one free, but I can actually buy it. See the top right again, I've got 9 of these upgrade things, so I can actually use this to complete that slot, which will get me to the next slot. Now I'm just playing with the playing with it. The coins you play with it, there's no point in actually spending these on it unless you really want to get up quick, because you will actually move them up as they go along. So you can see that the driver is like halfway through the fifth of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and as I play more to go to the next one. This is ready to be upgraded. Okay, so what I can do is I can upgrade set. So my opportunity here is I can go along here and go along to this, and I can evolve. So I can use the evolve tool, which is top right screen. I only got one of them, but I actually what I prefer to do is I prefer to evolve my irons first if I can, because they're not too far off. Now the other thing is that when you evolve it evolves for the whole set. So your set should really only have a driver, a couple of woods, irons, wedges, and a putter. You shouldn't have a hybrid in your set, because that's another set. You've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things there, and the ball. So I wouldn't recommend that you have a hybrid in your bag. So when you come along here and you come to this, so as you know here, Sapphire is the maximum that you're going to be able to do in this current Clubhouse Pass. I think in future Clubhouse Passes you might be able to go further. So if I come along here and for example I want to upgrade a set, I can come along here to this third slot here and I can put in some of these things. So that will upgrade my shaping, that will upgrade my recovery, that will upgrade my rhythm. So these are ways that allow you to increase the abilities that you have, which we saw earlier in the golfer. But the problem with this is if I evolve this club, so if I come along here, these 3 that I've already fitted will be gone. But because I had crap loads of them, I didn't mind that. But it's not worth your while to actually put on fittings until you get to the top, because it's just going to get destroyed. So when you get to the Sapphire level, they're going to be fine. That's pretty much it, I would say. The one thing I would recommend strongly, there's a guy on YouTube channel, he's called Macachada. It's MA_KACHADA. He's got details on every one of these. He's got superb videos on YouTube, everything that you could possibly want to know about everything in the game. He puts out stuff and it's really, really good stuff. Clubhouse Pass, I actually went and I should have probably bought the full game from the start, but I went and bought the Clubhouse Pass which is going to give me the next 5 seasons. And the reason I did that was because there was stuff in it that I actually thought, okay, might be actually helpful, and it was recommended. So there's clubs in it that are not free. It's just an Evo tool. Only the premium is going to get that, so I thought, okay, that might be handy for me to get. I didn't buy any VC. I'm working my way through the game. I would say the other most important thing to be doing is to play tournaments daily, because that'll help you to get VC as well and also build up your golfer. So what I tend to do is if you go into the ranked tours, and I try and play every single day one of the daily master, one of the daily pro. So I played the pro already. I'm going to probably play the master later on, and I would also recommend that you try and get your pro to get to playing level pro as quickly as you can, because that uses the Evo swing, and mastering the Evo swing is key in this whole thing, to be honest with you. Like, it's easy to play and win on Pro-Am, because that's actually the exact same mechanism of striking the ball as the last one. But the Evo swing, you need to be able to try and master that, and playing in the Daily Pro, it doesn't really matter where you finish. I'm not quite sure if it helps the better you finish, but it certainly helps by just participating to allow you to get your pro up to what you want. So I would certainly recommend, if you have the time, to try and play the Daily Pro and try and play the daily master every single day. I wouldn't bother with the pro-am, but get off the pro-am, out of it, up to the level pro and master as quickly as you can, because you're not really learning the game by doing just the daily pro-am, because it's really just the old swing. You need to learn the new swing. That's pretty much it. As I said, go to Makacheda. He's just the absolute guru in all this. He's got recommendations on different builds. He's got recommendations on how the game is affected by wind, elevation, stuff like that. He's the guy. Go and follow him on YouTube. That's pretty much it. That's my little piece on this game. I'm far from mastering it yet, but I'm hopeful that maybe this might make us some of the things that are just difficult to find out about maybe a little bit more transparent. You don't have to follow me, or maybe like if you like this video, but I'm not going to be a regular YouTuber, so I won't be looking for the subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Alright guys, that's it, thanks.